Welcome to Machtails from the Cantina Live. We are live. We've been live now for 3 straight days. A little bit of a mocked marathon, I guess. Machtails marathon. We got a great show tonight. We're going to be ramping up the celebration chat 7, 8, and 9. We had to do these in trilogies. I got to tell you, I'm really warmed up. Doing 3 live shows in a row. I am ready for the unsung brewing event, Machtails Live, the Sunday of celebration weekend. Hopefully you guys have been getting as much of excited as I am, or I should say, hopefully you guys are excited as I am going to celebration. I can't wait, and I know it's going to pass by in a hurry. Thank you guys for tuning in live. For those of you that are watching us on Facebook Live, you want to join the chat, like my Patreon member and good friend, John Jancanaro, Chris Amram as well is tuning in live. So I thank you guys for that. And the chat is on YouTube. The chat's not on Facebook. My buddy Rob asked me yesterday, he said he was commenting about, was I filming everything all the time at Celebration? And I'm going to bring on Tyler and talk to him a little bit about that. But I wasn't able to reply until the next day. So anyways, let's get some housekeeping done. We got the bad guy tins. You guys know what that means. All you mocktail regulars spend many nights in the cantina. The drinking word of the day is May. Yes, may the force be with you. And also May, this wonderful, wonderful month that was spring, but somehow turned into summer-like weather. I got my good friend, Sean Hines, jumping on the show again. Him and I have shared so many Star Wars celebration memories. I tried to get Duffy on the show, tried to get Ian on the show, Ian Basic on the show. And of course, I asked him at last minute. They got shit to do. Good guy tins. If you're a Patreon member at the $5 tier or higher, you will be able to win a prize tonight. Shout out again to Dale Morris. He won a signed Tusken Ewok poster created by my good friend Kevin Lyle for The Force Within Us. Check out NorseLegionStore.com. Kevin did the Tusken Ewok. Now, mind you, this was a collaborative effort. I'm not an artist, but I'm a content creator. So I figured this would be cool because we filmed both in Tunisia and Northern California, hence the story of the Tusken Ewok. But without further ado, I want to bring on somebody that works really, really hard on this show when he can. He was not on the show on Wednesday, but this guy is a good friend of mine. You guys know him, Tyler Page. Tyler, how are you? Happy Friday. Thank you for doing everything you do, man. I can't say that enough.
No worries, man. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just got done with this 7-hour crazy job promoting a ballet event at Ravinia. That was what I was, because people are always like, what are you promoting? Right?
Yeah.
You don't even know what I promote. I know you've seen some of my things.
I've seen, but then, we have the late night talks in the garage and we find out you were promoting Dark Knight, and then I get to see you find all the promos. So that's
Dark Knight, Speed Racer, so many different things. I don't promote movies as much as I used to, but man, it's been busy with all the events coming back.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. I'm looking forward to celebration. How is your meter from 1 to 10? Where is your excitement right now for celebration? You're gonna come to my house on May 25th, and we're gonna take off from there and make a very, very, very long night and an extra long week of it.
I'd say, I'm like an 8 out of 10. Like baseball has been really bad to me recently, the last month and a half.
Wait a minute. Last month and a half? The Sox have been struggling for a month and a half?
Yeah, it's not a good start. The game last night was real rough.
Well, that's you guys had the red hot Yankees,
Yeah. But games you should win. But so I'm trying to put that out of my mind, look towards the future, be happy about something. And that is Star Wars and hanging out with all my friends who are probably in the comments right now. So
Hell yeah, man. And thank you to our friends and supporters. Ian Savage is watching tonight. I'm sure Rich Brendel is going to jump on at some point. And again, shout out to Dale Morris for winning last night's prize. Tyler, you won the prize on Wednesday, but you didn't tune in live.
What are you gonna do?
You can't make them all. You know, it's getting to the point where there's so many mocktail shows, but I'm on fire right now, and I want to get comfortable with doing the live show that you're going to be part of. Ian Savage is going to be pretty much producing the show. He's bringing the roadcaster out. You know, Brian Klein is getting the speakers from his brother.
Yeah.
So we have like a really good. We're going to have a great sounding setup. You know.
Yeah, and it's a community coming together just to celebrate Star Wars, and
we got the beer community and the Star Wars fans coming together.
Yeah, perfect matchup,
again,
man.
The community in both of those is big, you know, it's really big. So last night we were talking about you know, all the filming that I did. You know, I did The Force Among Us. We were promoting it at Celebration 4, and then 7. We were 6. Sorry, got to keep them straight. 6. We were shooting The Force Within Us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to talk about the real fans of the saga, which was Anaheim.
Yeah.
But I remember Jimmy looking for me in Orlando. And Orlando in 2017, he's like, where did Chris go? I was on in his zone to catch up for lost time, because I tell you, when I film these projects, it takes away a lot of time, you know?
Yeah.
It takes away too much time. So I love hanging out with you guys, but if I disappear, I will be making up for lost time.
I'm fully aware of that.
Panels and autographs.
Yeah.
Autographs. So
people would always ask at ICC, "Where's Mock?" I'm like, "He's in a mode, man."
Yeah, even at ICC, I was kind of in the zone. So, all right, man, I'm going to let you do your thing, and you know what? I might make it rock, my friend, but you make Machtails roll. I'm telling you, man.
Right.
Appreciate everything you do. I really do.
Thanks, man.
So I want to bring out my good friend Sean while I get. Tyler's going to be back behind the scenes, as he always is, busy with work. He'll be posting especially the Patreon members that are chiming in tonight. He'll be putting up your chats. We'll be chiming in back at you. But I want to bring on my brother, Sean Hines. He's become a regular on this show. He might hold the record. Sean, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, my brother. How you doing? Another glorious day in the mocktail universe. What can I say?
You know what? You have changed your shirt. I have not.
Today I'm sporting. This is my buddy Brett Isaac's Swag Crew shirt that was made, I believe, for Celebration 9. I think it was Celebration 9.
So he was giving out shirts for swag.
Oh no, these weren't given out. We had a pony up.
You had to work over the money, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I want to go back in time again. I know we have a lot of celebration anticipation.
Yeah.
As we always do, especially as we get close.
Of course.
But you know me, I always like to take a trip back into the time machine, and we like to revisit and dig through the memory banks. So we're picking up at 7.
Right.
Celebration
I know.
7.
Yeah.
Anaheim.
Yep. Big deal.
It was a stressful mess for me shooting the real fans of the saga. That is all I did that entire time. I did manage to get a few autographs on the last day, but I went back to back. We did The Force Within Us, Celebration 6, and then Celebration 7, we were shooting the real fans of the saga. Sean, what do you remember about Celebration 7? What is your favorite moment from that time?
Celebration 7, we're talking Anaheim, we're talking 2015, we're talking the start of that thing right there, the real fans of the saga. And what can I say about it? It was a glorious, glorious moment in time. It always feels like you're either filming or promoting something when it comes to Celebration. You might have had 1 or 2 in between shows there that you didn't have something to promote, but you were still promoting it indirectly in some source, I'm sure. Now, filming in that house was awesome, by the way. That group, that was the first time we did a group house. and it was awesome to have Bo and Nikki there, sort of getting to have their honeymoon moment together that they didn't get to have when they got married. That shot is awesome. You got to kudos to Ian for going shirtless in this group shot.
Yeah.
You know,
Big kudos to Ian for that.
yeah,
This was Bo's first convention, but obviously not his last.
right.
He did one more. Oddly enough, Nikki did one more celebration, but it wasn't the one that Bo went to with us to Orlando. But we'll talk about that later on in the show.
Right.
There's a lot of people in this shot. When we go to Anaheim, in a couple weeks, we have 2 houses. This is how many? That looks more like 14 people in that shot without counting.
That's well, that's I don't know.
And
1,
that was
2,
all in
3,
one
4,
house.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 14, 15 people, looks like.
And that was all one house. That was the biggest ranch house I have ever seen.
That house had so many creative rooms, let's just say, or creative ways to put a bed somewhere to be able to fit that many people in that house. But yet we still felt like we had our own space to dwell in, and then the common areas to party in, And I remember that was one of the years. That's when they were streaming the panel. All the panels were being streamed on YouTube, and I remember at night I set up my laptop and I think I connected up to the TV, and we were watching the panels that maybe some of us didn't get to go to, where a lot of us didn't get to go to, and some of them we were watching live, which I thought was a pretty cool thing to do. And hoping to maybe do something similar to that this time around with Obi-Wan, at the house.
Yeah, and the thing is with the streaming, right? Because I know a lot of us watched it from the house that night, and that definitely helps cut down on the crowd or the frustration of sleeping out overnight or not getting into the panel. And I do know that Celebration StarWars.com just released I got an email today. I didn't really dig deep into it, but they released they're going to be streaming it again. So for those of you that can't go to Celebration, it's not like being there, but it's as good as you can go.
Well, yeah, you'll at least get to see the panels. You won't get to see the exclusive trailers or any footage. They black out the screen when that part comes up on YouTube or wherever it's streaming
that's
at.
right. That's right.
But you'll still get to see the interviews and the Q&As and all that fun stuff, which is, I think, fantastic. People to be able to get a little taste of Celebration that weren't able to be there. The other cool thing that as far as memories where Anaheim holds a special place in my heart, besides starting of the Real Fans, was basically taking the Mandalorian mashups as just something I did with my friends to a global community. And this was where we did our very first group photo in front of Roxy the Rancor. For those who have been at Celebrations and some other conventions, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Giant replica of the Rancor that was created by some fans, 501st fans probably. And we coordinated. I contacted the people who run that, and they coordinated a time and a day to put all of our Mandalorian mashups in front of Roxy, and it was a blast. And it was all you're talking about how your stress level goes. That was probably one of the most stressful things I had to put myself through, because I was coordinating it, trying to make sure everybody knew when it was, where to be, and then on top of it, I was running late because I don't even know why I was running late, but we were doing something and trying to get to the event, park the car, and I'm throwing on my costume. I know you and Ian were waiting for us to film it for the Real Fans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I was short on you because I'm throwing on my costume. And then I was like, I thought I forgot some parts of my costume, and I found it at the last minute. Finally made it there. The folks at Roxy were kind enough to let us flow into the area and take the group shot. And that's one of my favorite magical moments from Celebration as of late.
I'm glad that we were able to capture your magical moment on film, because one, it was a debut of something that you are still going strong with, and two, it's actually one of the 6 episodes that has been released. Well,
yeah,
there's been 9 episodes released, but 3 are rough cuts on the Real Fans of the Saga Facebook page. But I'm glad that the stress had paid off for you, and I'm glad we were able to capture that because the photos are great. But I think that we really captured the stress in the Real Fans of the Saga during that moment. You know?
Yeah, it was something else. It was a little chaotic, and it's kind of funny because you know how we're talking about they were streaming the show floor on
Yeah,
YouTube.
there's Dale right there, Dale
Nice.
Morris.
Nice. Yeah, they were streaming the show floor pretty much during the whole course of the day. You could go on YouTube and look for Celebration 7 Anaheim and watch like 7 hours of the show floor, and then you could see the part of the day where we show up in front of Roxy because she was right next to the main stage, which was where they had that replica cantina set up. Remember?
Yeah. I actually had a beer there with Kevin Lyle and Eric from Alternate Universe. I want to say the name of his store is. He's been up the irons. He's been a big supporter of mine and a big fan of Iron Maiden. Also a Red Sox fan. But that's another story for another time. But yeah, this was Bo's first time, and we keep seeing these images of Jesus saves, Vader is Lord, and I was glad we captured that moment on camera as well, because that was the first time and only time, we talked about this a little bit on last night's show, that the Star Wars world and the hardcore religious fanatics had kind of clashed together. I have never ever seen this happen, and there's been more than 10 celebrations if you count the ones in Europe. So it was very, very interesting to me, and it definitely made for a good episode because it was so fresh. And I mean, the photo was interesting, but to get the video of the stuff like the Mandalorian mashup shoot in front of Roxy with your stress level and getting this happening in front of the convention center. I mean, as stressful as it was, and I'm glad we shot it, but I'm never gonna fucking shoot at a Star Wars celebration again. That's behind me.
Oh, come on, we got to keep that.
I've proven that to you guys too, because we never shot in Chicago. It was easy to. My film crew lives in Chicago, and I didn't want to deal with the stress anymore. I wanted to just enjoy. Like 1, 2, celebration 1, 2, and 3. Going back to what we talked about yesterday, the old days of just geeking out, getting the autographs, hanging out with friends. The camera work is just too fucking much for me to.
Or as Alfie would like to put it, when it comes to having agenda, he likes to just simply have no agenda and just.
I like to have an agenda. I have respect for that, but. Yeah, okay, so here's another thing, too. Sean, we filmed at this party, too, and this is still one of my favorite Rebel Force Radio parties. The atmosphere was cool. I'm sure the one at the rooftop in Anaheim on May 25th is going to be good, but there was something special about this party because I think it was cool. They did some stuff in Orlando beforehand. But this was like hanging outside. It was a different atmosphere. Did you have a good time at this party?
Of course. How could you not? I mean, anytime Jimmy's involved, it's always a good time. What can I say?
It's always a good party, man.
And back to what you were talking about earlier, you're mentioning to Tyler about, hey, if I disappear, I could definitely relate to that when it came to Anaheim because, man, Bo and Lisa and Alfie and I, we were like, all of a sudden, like I remember we were trying to find the Rebel Force Radio party. We get to the hotel. We start walking down the hallway. You are like 50 paces ahead of us. You turn the corner at the hotel, whatever the hotel was, and we turn the corner and you're gone. And it's just like, how fast are you walking? You're like freaking Jason in Friday the 13th. You just get to where you got to be.
You dropped the Friday the 13th pun. Did you know today is Friday the 13th?
Oh, gee. Is that today?
It is. It is today.
Gee,
I'm not at the horror convention today. We will be there tomorrow, though.
That's right. Funny how I said that, and it just happens to be the day. What a coincidence.
You knew that. You knew that. I know you're a big horror fan. That's one of my least favorite genres, but
Yes, of course, so it's that keeping up with the mock marathon, especially when you're trying to move around the show floor, is definitely a challenge for anybody. And if you have short legs like me, I am not keeping up with you by any stretch of the imagination. You see, like you said, when you are in the zone and you have things you want to do, to hell with everybody else, because you're gonna get it done.
I tell you, man, though, filming at the celebrations. I thought about it last night after we did the show.
Yeah,
like promoting it at Celebration for the Force Among Us, promoting it, that was a little different.
Yeah.
Because we weren't working. I mean, we weren't filming. We were handing out shit,
Yeah.
Getting the word out. But doing back-to-back filming at C6 and C7, I feel I can't get that time back. I have the time on camera and film that people enjoy, which is great, but I can't get that time back as a fan. But
that's true. Yeah. So
that's
I'll just say I thank you and appreciate you for doing that and putting yourself through that. And I appreciate and thank you again for allowing me to be on that journey with you and participate in it. And I'm so thankful that we have all of that to look back on. I know you won't be able to get that time back as a fan when it comes to, because when you're doing stuff like that, it's like working a show. It's impossible to enjoy it. You can't enjoy a show because you're not going to be able to see what you want to see or go where you want to go. And if you do, what do you get? Oh, I got an hour I can kill on this day to try to get it all in, and then good luck. So kudos to you for that.
It's I know we have more photos. For some reason, we're stuck on the RFR image here. But it was a good party. It was a really, really good party. And Sean, I got to that is why, because we are still talking. I got you. But wrapping it up on Celebration 7, Sean, I want to thank you for your contributions to my film projects, especially the real fans of the saga, because
thank you.
It took the four of us to do that. It really did.
Yeah.
The force within us and the force among us, that you were a friend then, you're even a better friend now. It was great to have you part of that, but I think I can't take you out of the real fans of the saga. It wouldn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So
I'm glad you feel that way, because I hate attention, and I don't. So no, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that I'm able to help you bring the joy of fandom to the world and help bring my flavor of fandom with Star Wars for people too.
It's many of flavors, especially put together.
Oh man, I remember one quick sidebar when they had that cantina set up at C7, and when they would go live with the streaming show, and they would do it inside the bar. We were just sitting around talking with each other right outside the thing, and Lisa told me later somebody came up to her and said, "Hey, do you and I was Vandalorian and Vandalorian want to come inside the cantina? We're getting ready to shoot the next segment." She told him no because we were busy talking, and it's like what? So anyhow,
it's again, it's one of those memories, man. It's one of those memories. Speaking about Celebration 8 now, this was kind of this was where I was able to redeem myself, because we started doing things like this.
Yes.
Now, I was going to run off camera when I had you on, because I have my Forrest Whitaker and Riz Ahmed photos on the wall, but I don't want to just start pulling shit off the wall, Well,
I could start yapping about something if you want to go do that.
The thing is, it was the first time that Topps had taken over, and it was a shit show. But again,
it was a shit show.
There it is. I don't even have
there
to
it is.
Shit off the
there
wall.
you go. There you go.
And man, what a cool fucking guy Forrest Whitaker is. I mean,
he looks happy. Genuinely. He was genuinely a nice guy. He looked like he was really enjoying himself meeting everybody. I know you were probably waiting for him to say something to Saw, but you know, I know he commented on your shirt because I don't think he's seen too many Saw shirts come through the line. You know,
Hey, you know, I don't believe like that moment right there. Can that really ever happen again? I don't believe so.
why do you say that? Why would you say that?
It was such a good moment, and you know, I'm worried about like we got the photo op with you and McGregor, and I'm so worried about like it's not going to be like that because we're living in.
My worry is the plexiglass, and is that going to be I mean, I don't think we're not going to do it, but if they do have the plexiglass, it's just going to take something away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't want to leave you in that situation, but it's like if there's plexiglass there, I would rather wait 5 years from now. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he comes back. But there's something about having that glass in front of you. I mean, we're on top of each other. He is smiling. We're all happy.
I know.
I mean, and it's Forrest Whitaker, for God's sake.
Of course, I know, right? Of course, it has to be said. Concerning Celebration 8, the amazing time that we had driving down and driving back with you, me, Bo, and Lisa in the rental
road trip, right?
The road trip, stopping off at the fireworks store and just weird sideshow stuff. Oh, nice! There's a nice shot there.
Doug Chang at the end of the Rogue One panel there.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the road trip was so great. I'm trying to think, when was the last time that we had and Bo was playing at the Rebel Force Radio party with me. And that was Glenn Nelson. Glenn Nelson's going to be rooming with us as well. Sean, I don't know if have you ever really met Glenn Nelson in person, the musician?
No, I don't think I have in person.
This is getting to the hotel for the first time right here.
Right.
You will meet Glenn in Anaheim. He's
cool.
Stay with us. But yeah, that road trip, dude. So I'm trying to think. When was the last time we really took? When was the last time you took a road trip to Celebration?
Well, that would have been the last time. I mean,
the time before this, was it Indianapolis?
Yes, the first time. Well, we took a road trip to. No, we flew into Denver for the first one. So yeah, Indianapolis, Celebration 2 and 3, we did road trip it. In fact, Celebration 2, we cut it really close. This is something. This will show you how early stage these celebrations were, and this could never be done again. Alfie stayed at my place, and he stayed up all night watching Eyes Wide Shut in the living room, keeping me awake, trying to sleep in the bedroom. Because we were getting up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning to drive down there the morning of day one of the convention. We drove into town. We saw them starting to line outside the conventions there. We parked the car at the hotel and immediately got in line, spent the day there, went to lunch to go check in the hotel, went back to the show. That was day one, Celebration 2. Driving in the morning of and then going straight from the car to in line.
you know what? That sounds a lot like day one, which isn't really day one. It's day -1, maybe, right? On May 25th, for Celebration Anaheim, it's going to be like run and gun. We're gonna fly in, and it's going to be just a long, long day. I forgot to mention on last night's show, that was a bad selfie I took. I wish I would have gotten a little bit more of Bo in there.
There's a happy morning after if I ever saw one.
Yeah, there is just black coffee in that yellow mug there. But I forgot to mention on yesterday's show. I actually drove. No, I did mention that because I was almost asked to be the drug mule driving down to Celebration 5. That was my last ride in. Now Keith stayed with us. This was not with us this time.
This was the first time
Easter Sunday, the only celebration, right?
Only celebration to fall on Easter Sunday. So of course, you know me. As soon as I found that out, this buddy This Boba Bunny was immediately created for just such an occasion.
Now I got to ask you: have you wore the Boba Bunny after Celebration?
I have actually. The funny thing is Keith, Lisa, and we went to Indiana Comic-Con the following year because that convention just happened to fall on Easter Sunday as well. I was searching local convention or any kind of convention that was somewhat nearby just to see if they were going to fall on Easter Sunday, just to give me a reason to wear that again. And Indiana Comic-Con ended up being that show the following year after Celebration Orlando. And then I think even in Celebration 9, it wasn't on Easter Sunday, but I think it was within a week or so of Easter during 2019. So I ended up did wear it again at Celebration 9 on Sunday, the last day of the convention, at Brett Isaac's Swag Crew booth to help promote swag and also the Easter Bunny. In fact, I had a woman come up to me excited to find me because she said that she remembered me from Orlando. She's like, "Oh, me and my daughter took a picture with you, and I knew you were going to be here because I saw you posting you were going to be here, and I wanted to make sure we got another photo because it's almost like our Easter tradition now. Me and my daughter getting a picture with the Easter boba." So
I got to show you this, man. This is in a frame. It's in a floating frame, and I got the Easter Bunny.
Oh, nice. Yes.
From Celebrate. This frame's pretty cool, man. It's got, you put the pins in there.
That's pretty sweet.
I got these on Amazon, but yeah, I had to put that in there. Now that is displayed year round.
Yeah, that was the swag I was passing out. I had a Yoda head Easter basket filled with those buttons that I was passing out. As you can see me holding it.
You got a button.
That's right.
Speaking about the Easter Bunny, and it brings Santa Claus into the mix. And going back to and it's because of Jason. Jason in the middle there. He was the guy that hooked us up with the VIP pass to make sure that we got our photo ops. He's not a photo guy. He's not an autograph guy. But if it wasn't for him, I would not have had that smile next to Forrest Whitaker. Because a lot of people.
Oh yeah, because as we mentioned before, the shit show that was Tops when they took over. Oh my God, he saved our collective asses with those photo ops and that letting us use that. So kudos to Jason for that.
I got to say too. I think I'm stepping over somebody's toes here. No, am I stepping over somebody's toes? I don't know if I am, but kudos to Jason for that. As always, I owe him what you call a life debt, and sorry for stepping over the toes there. Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, Ewan McGregor. It's like all these people you pay for the photo op. You don't get to go hang out with Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. And in reality, those photos are $40, $50. Like when I take Danny to do those, they're not cheap. So it's like if I can get a photo with the Star Wars actor or actress for maybe nowadays $60, okay, that's the price of a Santa photo, right? Yeah. That's how I rationalize it. That's how I validate my. That's how my thinking works on how I get away with spending this.
That was a little bit of a long way around the block, but I see where you're coming from, and I get it. Choo to John Drake and his watermelon beer that he's drinking. I saw there. That sounds pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to try that. You send me the label on that one.
I guess my friend and Patreon supporter Mark Thrasher says that I always justify the way when I spend the money on the Star Wars stuff. Justification.
Yeah, whenever Lisa asks me to justify it, I got nothing. I just I
will tell you, Arnold Garbash in Orlando for Celebration 8 was a far cry from Celebration 7. Far cry. It was like a wedding with no atmosphere. Jimmy will even tell you, yeah, if you could capture that photo, Jason's like, what the hell are we doing here? I remember they were very, very disappointed because it was in a hotel banquet room, and they just came off the high from Celebration 7. Now, you missed it because you were this hotel, right?
Correct. Yeah, I missed out on this. I was there at the beginning, just to say hi to Jimmy and everybody before I saw it get started. But then I had to book it because of Forcella, with Spencer and the gang. And it always seems to fall on the same night as the karaoke thing. And you know me, I can't miss singing a tune. So
You can't miss the karaoke.
yeah, so
We did perform on the stage here. Bo and I and Glenn, we jammed, and also Din. Din used to play some music for Rebel Force Radio. He came up with a theme song a long time ago. That was in yesteryear's page that has turned already, but it was a fun experience jamming on the stage again. Not
were
again.
were you doing some interpretive dance while you were up there doing it?
I was not. No, I was in the zone with the hand percussion, but Bo might have been doing a little interpretive dance up there. He had the tambourine. He did not have his usual guitar with him. But Celebration 8 was, that ranks up there with the top 3. Now, Sean, we should think about this. For the live Mocktails show at Celebration, we have time to do this. Come up with like our top 5 celebrations of all 10. We didn't rate them on this show. We don't have time to rate them because I want to think about it, but Celebration 8 would definitely be on the top 5. That was a good trip. Very, very memorable. I'm looking forward to going back to Orlando.
Well, you know me, I try to avoid rating them, ranking them, but I'll play along at least to some degree, because I see people online talking a lot about, oh, I'm disappointed in this about Celebration. I'm disappointed about this. Oh, the guest list is, why isn't this person there? And blah, blah, blah. And I say the same thing every time. I says, look, ever since Celebration 1, the only reason I have ever needed to get excited about a Star Wars convention is the fact that it's a freaking Star Wars convention. What else do you need? It's a convention that is nothing but wall to wall Star Wars. I mean, so so the guest you wanted to be there isn't there. So what? It's not like there's not going to be any guests. It's not like there's not going to be any panels or exhibits to see. There will always be something to see. There will always be some guest to check out and get an autograph or photo with. There will always be a panel to enjoy. You just have to show up. It's the best party in the galaxy, and that's all you need to get excited about Star Wars Celebration.
Amen to that, man. We talked about this before. Don't have any expectations. Bring a good attitude. I know I'm always looking for the next high. I'm excited about this one. I was not super thrilled that it was going to go back to Anaheim, but now that we've been talking about it and now that the announcements have been made, there are a lot of good things to look forward to, and there's a lot of good friends coming with us, spending the time. My biggest concern and worry, though, is there seems to be a lot of parties. And chut to John Drake. John, you're dedicated. You're out to dinner watching the show. John just informed me that the 501st is having a party on Thursday night. Now, Sean, I got to ask you, we did not go to the 501st Bash in Anaheim, but we did in Orlando, and that was
that was amazing.
That was a great fucking party.
That was amazing.
That was Celebration 8, another highlight of that convention.
There were a lot of highlights of Celebration 8, and the 501st Bash is definitely up there. And it was because it was basically, in a nutshell, not just a party club kind of scenario. There was photo ops, Cantina band set. There was characters and costume and everything else, but it was also pretty much a private concert with Weird Al Yankovic in the banquet hall of this hotel. Just whoever was at that party, and Weird Al performing. And it was the prelude to his ill-advised, self-indulgent tour that he's done the last couple of years, where he plays all of the deep cuts from his album and none of the hits.
Yeah, as a Weird Al fan, I don't know what your level is. Hardcore, deep cut.
I'm hardcore. I'm a hardcore, so I actually enjoyed
it. That he wasn't playing the hits then.
I was okay with it. Of course, we all love to hear the hits, but I have every album and I've listened to every song. I know every song almost as much as I know the Beatles catalog. So I'm hardcore on Weird Al. So I was completely fine with that, and that was a great show. It was cool to hear all those other shows. I know everybody else was disappointed because they didn't get, but he did end the show with Yoda and the saga begins. So we at least got that.
Yeah, that was, it's funny because when we went there, I was just blown away by the Twi'lek dancers twirling from the ceiling like it was a Cirque du Soleil show. The atmosphere was great. They had all these arcade games on the back wall. And I took a gummy, as you remember, you probably recall, because I believe you were my driver that night, as I recall. I took a gummy and it kicked in when Weird Al was on and everybody was watching the show. And in the back of the room, I just went down the line and I was playing every single Star Wars video game. They even had they had the coin-op games there, and they had like the old home console games. Just a great fun party, man.
You definitely picked the perfect moment to play those games where there wasn't going to be any line when Weird Al starts playing.
Right. and I still heard the music too, so it was like, I'm still at the concert. I'm just kind of in the back listening while I'm playing and zoning out, if you will.
Nice.
So Celebration 9, that was weird because our brother Bo, obviously passed away before that. So there was this gap of there was this void, I should say. There was this void without him. I gave a pass to his daughter and to Cora, his daughter, and to Nikki, his widow, and they went for one day. But it was so weird without him. Still a really, really good time. Even though it was in our own city, I got a hotel room down there because the commute from St. Charles to Chicago is an absolute nightmare. How did you feel at that convention without Bo?
Well, yeah, the void is undeniably something that you was noticed. He was such a whirlwind of just a fun guy to be around with. To not have him there, and I had only gotten to know him for what was it, 5 years prior to that point. So it's not like I knew him a long time, but because we had that connection with the Star Wars fandom, it was like I knew him my whole life, and he was instantly one of my best buds. And yes, without Bo being there, was the void was definitely felt. And there were still moments where when I would see something at the convention, I wanted to maybe want to take a picture of it and send it to Bo, but I had a couple moments like that. Since it was still pretty fresh, I had some moments where I wanted to recall or text, and I'm like, oh, I can't, and it's like, and I think I kind of I wanted, being in my backyard, I was super psyched when they announced that this was in Chicago. I was on a high for like 3 days, just the fact that it was going to be in Chicago. In fact, Keith was the one that sent me the link when they announced it. I thought he was punking me, because I didn't. But I'm like, there's no way this is going to be in Chicago, But we had always hoped it would be, and the hope was never more so prevalent as to when they announced that the Lucas Museum was going to be built on the lakeshore. And I think that was the reason why Chicago had it booked, and I think it was already booked. And they just decided to keep it there because the Lucas Museum would have opened around the time of Celebration 9.
That's a really good observation, and that makes a lot of sense because it was the first time it was back in the Midwest since Indianapolis in 2005. So it was weird. It was exciting that it was in the city. Little disappointment because of the outturn of the Lucas Museum. But many good times. I lit this candle for Bo while you were talking about him. This is a candle that Bo made. I shared this on a little bit on Inside the Wampa Cave on the Patreon only content. But you mentioned Keith, and I want to rewind a little bit because I want to talk about Keith and I want to talk about Bo. We had a very, very interesting trip. I'm sure you remember this. We were in a Uber ride because you were already at the convention.
Yeah.
We were in an Uber with somebody that did not speak any English.
The driver
did not understand any English. So Keith called his friend that speak Spanish, and his friend communicated to the Uber driver to get us to the convention center.
Oh my God.
And there's Keith
So-
right there.
So your driver couldn't speak English?
Couldn't speak English, couldn't understand English.
And this is an Uber driver. Oh my
This is
God.
an Uber driver in Orlando. I videotaped this whole thing. I have to get this transferred. But thank you to Keith for calling his friend, because it was, man, you can't make that shit up. Again, another celebration moment that was fresh and never happened again.
That's right up there with the free meat in the elevator. Okay? You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And we're gonna miss Keith at Celebration 10, but it was nice that he was at 8 and he was at 9, so he was 2 back to back.
Those were the first 2 times that Keith joined our crew, and we were happy to have him. I was especially happy to have him because he's a professional photographer, and he helped me a lot with a lot of photos. He probably helped me too much, because I think I probably took less photos because he was kind of spoiling me. You know,
he loves to take photos.
Right. So I knew he was getting the shots for me, and I'm definitely going to miss him this go around, because he's usually the guy shooting the mashup group photo. Luckily, I had somebody after I announced the group photo, somebody sent me a message asking me if they could shoot it, and I was like, sure. And I'm hoping some other photographers show up. I know you had.
You should talk to Boston Dan. He was on the show last night.
Okay.
He is going to be staying in the same house as us.
Okay.
Some really, really good photos.
All right. Well, let's get the hookup with Boston Dan then. Let's make that happen, because I could sure use the help.
And he could be out there with our field recorder, and we'll get a little video, and we'll get some audio from you, and we'll kind of do a Mocktails from the Cantina celebration wrap up. I think that's what the Unsung Brewing event is going to turn out to, but we're not going to be able to share photos and videos that way,
Celebration 9 was our biggest group shot to date that we did for the mashups. Oddly enough, Celebration 8 was the smallest group shot that we did. And that's partially, I think, because I picked a bad location and a bad time. I picked the stairs where most of the group shots taking place. Yeah, there's Chicago. There's all the Chicago sports vets. I call those the Mandos of the Midway.
Oh, the Muppets.
That's the big group shot of everybody that was there. I regret not. We did the one group shot, and then we kind of set everybody free, and then we did some individual shots. I kind of regret not doing like a good guy shot, a Mando shot, a Sith shot. Kind of pairing them up by theme, and then doing making it a little bit.
Yeah,
I might see if I could, depending on who shows up in Anaheim, maybe I can try to do that this go around. But yeah, in Celebration 8, we had the smallest group because the section of the convention center where I had it, they stopped. They had blocked access to it. So by the time we were supposed to do it, there were very few people were able to get to it. So we actually I had to like on the spot postpone the time until they opened the doors so that everybody could get there. And we had maybe 20 people at that one. So, but I was super psyched about this one. More people showed up for this than I was even anticipating. And I'm hoping at Celebration 10 in Anaheim that we get even more a bigger group than this one, because I just want to spread the love and fun of mashups everywhere.
Sean, not to steal your thunder, I should say, but I think the Muppet mashups are the winners in that photo.
Why is there got to be a winner or a loser? Mashups.
My eyes just go to them.
It's hard to miss them. They're so colorful. They're all right out there in the front in the big white outfits and their big colorful heads.
There doesn't have to be a winner, but I think that's the thing about cosplay is there's always a cosplay contest. There was a cosplay contest at ICCCon in Nashville. I did not partake in that. I did partake in the mashups photo at Celebration 8. I wore my Rays fet. I'm in Florida. I wore the Rays. This one, I wore the Cubs. Now, I did send you a text from the ball game saying that I'm going to bring my costume.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Right now I'm like, do I bring the costume?
I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire, brother. You got to show up. I'm here for you. When are you going to be there for me, my man?
I'm just gonna bring a Jedi robe and disguise my face. Can I get away with that? That's not really a mashup, though,
What
is
is
it?
that a mashup of? Don't you have a Muppet head?
It's not easy lugging all that Mando shit, is it?
Well, do you have a Muppet helmet? Do you have a Muppet mask?
No, I don't.
You don't. Oh, okay. I was say if you did, you could just throw on a Jedi robe and a Muppet mask, and there you are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because
I'll think of something.
like I said, it doesn't have to be Mandalorian. It's all mashups.
It's all mashups. This is still Celebration Chicago. What's going on here? With the
So that I believe that was at the Marks booth that we went to. That we went and just checked out their area of the park. They had this big theme throughout Celebration 9 in Chicago where it was like Unite the Galaxy or something along those lines. All the different groups, the Mandalorian Marks, the Dark Empire, the Rebel Legion, and the 501st. They were all set up in the same circle, and they were sort of sharing, sort of a community of sorts. And in Chicago, the different groups, they know the Mandalorian mashups pretty well because we show up at a bunch of the same events as they are, and they've for the most part have welcomed us into the fray, if you will, at the different parades and shows like Joliet Star Wars Day and so forth, and the Bartlett 4th of July parade. So we have fun with it. And then even here, they did a big group shot of all the groups, and they did a parade throughout the whole convention center, and we went and stood in line with that, and nobody had any issues with us being there. There was a couple of guys who thought we shouldn't be in the group shot, but there was a few others that came to our defense. No, they're fine. They're okay. They could be here. And then, but of course, as soon as that group shot was done, we took off because we didn't want to start a throwdown with anybody.
Well, now, Sean, I want to ask you. I want to rewind on your comment earlier about a contest. Why does it have to be a contest? This is coming from the man that is in the Boutique Cantina Classic.
While I am in that contest, I am primarily there to have fun. Whether I win,
you don't have this competitive edge to you.
It's like a Mr. Miyagi moment. Win, lose, no matter.
Well, not according to John Drake, because John Drake's like, I'm going to win that fucking contest. He's got a different agenda than you do, obviously. And
to John Drake, I can only quote the Emperor. Your overconfidence will be your undoing. So
your weakness.
Yeah.
And I did like the comment that you made about why do we have to rank the celebrations? I don't know. I like to rank the Star Wars movies. But if everybody had the philosophy that you had about Celebration with the Star Wars movies themselves,
yeah,
we wouldn't have to worry about this division of fandom and people bitching and complaining about stuff.
I know it's the dark side of fandom that I have really just come to loathe. It's unfortunate. It really is, because before this divide, we all know where the divide came from. We don't need to get into it. But it's just, even with the prequels, we could still have our debates of what we liked and didn't like and just still go on with our lives and still be friends. The divide that we have going on now is actually breaking up friendships like it's a political conversation or something like that. And I don't get it. It's a movie franchise. We get what we get. Nothing's going to get remade. Nothing's going to get, done all over. They're not going to remake Star Wars. They're just going to move forward. So we get what we get. You don't have to love everything, and it's unfortunately impossible to basically love everything at this point, because the expectations on Star Wars for different people are going to be at so many different levels. There's no way you're going to make everybody happy. When that original trilogy came out, it took the world by storm. It was like something we had never seen before. It was lightning in a bottle, and that's going to be extremely difficult to get back in any shape or form. And I think, but we are getting shades of that with The Mandalorian and Rogue One and stuff like that.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. And I'm looking forward to Celebration, and I'm looking forward to celebrating Star Wars with some really, really close friends. I can't wait. I would say my excitement level right now on May 13th. I don't know how many days we got left. We got about 11 days left.
It's going up. It's
Brad,
creeping up fast.
Brad Riverdale, Patreon member Brad Riverdale is in the Imperial Gunner outfit. That is a deep cut. Thank you to show producer, show producer Tyler Page back there. He's doing a great job. I had no idea that was Brad. But my level of excitement right now is probably, I would say a 7.5 right now out of a 10.
Ooh, only a 7.5. Interesting.
Hey, well, it's been a long week, but that's pretty high, though. That's pretty high. I don't want to have a 10 now with 11 days to go. I don't know if then I'm going to have expectations that are going to be hard to meet. You know what I mean?
I'm just looking forward to having a legitimate vacation and having fun. And I'm probably about 8 or 9 at the present moment. And once the day of travel comes out, that's when I'll hit 10. Once the show starts, I'll be at 11 and to the to infinity and beyond. I will say about Chicago, I was as excited as I was with being in our backyard. I kind of felt like, and Alfie felt the same way too, that we, on a certain level, took it for granted that it was in our backyard, and maybe we didn't take advantage of as much as we could have with it being in our backyard. And I kind of had that sense like I could have done more. Like I felt like being in Chicago, since we had all those Chicago sport fets, I feel like we should have been front and center of every website promoting Celebration Chicago, but that didn't happen. So I guess maybe we didn't make the rounds enough, or maybe we just weren't standing in the right spot at the right time.
You got to polish up on your PR, my friend.
I guess. Maybe
it's a press release. You got to go to them instead of them coming to you, because I feel like when you're there, I can relate to that though, because when I wore the Rays fet that you created for me, I wore that to Tropicana Field on their Star Wars Day in 2015. And I thought the fans there would have been a little bit more excited to see a Rays fet. I'm at a Rays game. It's a Rays fet. You know what I mean? I'm going to wear the Cubs fet to Cubs Star Wars Day. We'll see what happens there. But, again, maybe it's the expectation of, hey, these are the Chicago fets. These are going to be cool. Yeah, they're very, very cool. But when the outsiders look in, it's like maybe it's not that big of a deal to them. But I don't know. You know what? Because the Mandalorian show, I think, has catapulted the character in that mask as a whole. So
right. It might take a different meaning this time around because Chicago, because Mandalorian had not come out yet at the time of Celebration Chicago. They were promoting it, but it hadn't launched. So, yeah, there's a lot of times, even back then, you walk around in a Mandalorian costume and you hear somebody go, "Oh, look, a stormtrooper, son."
I was called a Power Ranger once in the
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I'd have to, give props to the Mandalorian for maybe actually getting people to understand this is not a stormtrooper or a Power Ranger, like you said.
Exactly. Well, I think I'm going to be, as they say in Spinal Tap, goes to 11 on my birthday, May 25th. I don't believe I need to make sure that I'm able to get some good night's sleep, because it's going to feel like Christmas Eve to me on May 24th, which happens to be my wedding anniversary. So I want to be in tune with the marriage the day before. I don't want to have my brain on celebration when I'm with my wife. There's going to be plenty of time for that. Sean, you're obviously bringing your wife, Lisa.
Oh, yeah.
She never misses one. So you don't have to worry about leaving her behind or missing her or anything like that. Like,
I don't think I could. I don't think I could ever leave her behind. And just for the simple fact is that, and this is where I'm going to get really cheesy here. The relationship that I have with Lisa is extremely special to me, and going to Celebration and doing these things together and wearing the costumes together actually makes those moments mean more to me than anything else. In fact, if she wasn't there with me, at a celebration, I don't think I could enjoy Celebration as much as I could possibly do it, because half of the excitement and enjoyment of Celebration for me is being able to share it with Lisa.
Amen to that. I gotta add to that. The thing is, I want Michelle to come with me. Obviously, she's not on the level of fandom that I'm on, or you are on, or maybe even Lisa is on. But she's the wife that says, you know what? Go have a good time with your friends. I never like being without my family, but my family, says, you know what? You go do your thing. We'll be here waiting for you. And I know a lot of people are waiting for me to pull the name out of the tin, the Cantina tin. Patreon members, you get to win a prize. Be sure to check us out on Patreon. BVK, are you still tuning in, Brian? I know you were there earlier. Is Brian Klein still tuning in? You won the prize. Sean, what number am I thinking of? 1 through 5.
Trace Hombres.
Okay, yeah. How did you get that? We're talking trilogies.
That's right. This is the final trilogy of celebrations we're talking about.
You know what? Look who won it. Paige.
There you go. Bam, making up for Wednesday.
Tyler Page won. I believe that might even be his dad's name, but his dad's a Patreon supporter. But I know if I sent something to his dad, he would be like, Tyler, I want you to have this. And, if Tyler wants to share any of the Machtails swag that he wins on this show, then with his dad, more of the power to him. I want to thank Tyler Page for all his hard work. I want to thank my guest, Sean Hines, for being on the show time and time again. And I want to thank you guys for spending your Friday with us. And the next show I have coming up, we got only 2 shows next week. And that's it before Star Wars Celebration. So be sure. No, that was not rigged, John Zancanaro. That was not rigged. It's hard to rig all those names in there. Be sure to tune in Wednesday and Thursday. And be sure to check us out on Patreon, man. A lot of great content. I know I'm on fire, and I'm giving everything away for free right now via the live show. So I don't know what animal. You know what, Sean? In the Star Wars sequels,
yeah,
it's the Moof Milker, right?
Moof Milker, yeah.
Okay, where does the Moof Milk come from?
Where does well, it's not that thing that Luke was milking. I know that. I'm gonna say a moof. I don't know. I just like I never quite. We're talking sequels, so I'm not as adept to all the.
Tune, right. So you're probably wondering, why would you want to, if the Moof Milk is free, why do you want to buy the Moof? Because we offer a lot of cool stuff on Patreon that we do not do here.
So what you're saying is why buy the milk when you can get the Moof for free? Is that what you were getting at?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Like, why doing Patreon if we're doing live show after live show after live show? Because there's so much other content that you cannot be found on YouTube, only on Patreon. I want to thank my Patreon members once again. I want to thank Sean Hines, Tyler Page, and you guys for tuning in. We will catch you guys next time on Mocktails from the Cantina. Another round. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Morgen die Macht mit dir sein. Chut, chut, and choo-choo, boyos.
Cheers, cheers.